the distance between two towns, right? They say the distance between the towns is 380 kilometers. At the same time, right? So let's first make a quick sketch. So the distance between these towns, so this is maybe town A and this is town B. And the distance, nope, nope, nope. So the distance from here and there is how much? It's 380 kilometers, right? Okay. At the same time, a passenger car and a truck start moving towards each other. So we could say that the passenger truck and the passenger car, the car and the truck are coming towards each other. If something is coming towards each other, it means they're coming from opposite directions, right? But they are coming to one spot. So maybe you're walking to the right and someone's walking directly to the left to you, you know? So in this case, we can say that we have a car that's moving that way. And then we have the car, which is in pink, moving that way. And we have the truck moving in green, moving that way. Right. From the different towns. They meet, right? They say they meet 4 hours later, right? So they meet 4 hours later. So somewhere at some point, at some particular point, right? We're going to put an X. At some particular point, they meet and it's 4 hours at that point, right? And then if the car drives at 5 kilometers per hour, right, faster than the truck, right? It says if the car drives 5 kilometers per hour faster more than the truck, what are their speeds? Now, in this case, it's quite interesting. This is a very interesting question right there. This is a very interesting question. Just for the simple fact that now we need to kind of like construct equations for it. So when we have to construct equations for it, how can we construct this? Right. So how can we construct this? Um, so, so basically, how can we do this, right? So we need to construct equations. So the first one we're gonna try is to see that, okay, we're talking about speed, right? We're talking about the speed and or the distance. We're talking about the distance. And so we know that the distance is actually equals to the speed times time, right? Speed times time will give us the distance. So let's use first write out the car. So the car, for instance, um, so the car, yeah, let me write it. So the car, oops, wrong one. So the car, right? For the car, when we're talking about speed, that is distance, sorry, distance, S for distance, right? S for distance, that is equals to the velocity times time. So we know that with speed, right, with the velocity of the car, what did they say? They said for some certain unknown value, right? They said if the car drives 5 kilometers faster, so who's moving faster? The car is moving 5 kilometers faster than the truck. So the truck, let's say X is the speed of the truck, plus 5, right? So plus 5, they reconstructed the first part of the equation, right? And now, according to the question itself, we need to basically find that the distance that they traveled, right? So the total distance 380, right? Would have been the speed, which is x plus 5. And the only place they told us about time was when they met. And that is where it is when it's at 4 hours, right? So t, so it's actually v, which is x plus 5 times t, which is our 4, right? And so let's actually simplify this early. So this would actually be 4x plus 20. Okay, that's for the car. But now we ask ourselves for the for the for the truck. Right. Now, the first thing, because we are trying to figure out what the speed of the truck is, we've actually kind of already assigned it, right? The speed of the truck is actually just that X that we put there, because remember, the question said, if the car drives 5 kilometers faster. So 5 kilometers faster means it's just adding five, it's five more than the truck. It's just five more than the truck. And that's what we did. It's five. This is the truck, five more, right? So the speed, which is v, is x, right? So it's just x. And then the distance, right? And that we use as s. The distance in this case then would be what? It would be the speed, right? Would be the speed, right? Times the number of hours where they met, right? And where they met was at 4. So this is actually just 4x. But now, what do we have? We have two equations, right? Now we have two equations being the first one here, and the first one there, and the second one there, for the car and the truck. So we have an equation for the car and the truck. Now, the question basically, we need to basically find x so that we can find the truck. However, isn't it clear that wherever they meet, it means that both cars, if you take the distances that they traveled, then it would have traveled the entire distance, right? The entire distance from town A to town B, right? The entire distance. So this is actually equals to 380. But when we add them together, right? Because this is distance, so it's 4x plus 4x plus 20. Right? That's 25. It's 20, sorry, 20. Yeah, 20. Okay, plus 20. Okay, so now the only thing we have to do in this case is just solve for x. And so that's very easy. So we'll take that, that's 360, right? And that would be 8x over 8. And then that's over 8. And that would be what? Let me use my calculator right there. So evaluate that, my G. That's 45, right? So that's actually 45. So that is equals to 45, and that is equals to x. So now we know the speed of the truck, right? The speed of the truck is 45 kilometers per hour. And this is the truck. The only thing we need to say for the car is 5 more, so it's 50 kilometers per hour. And basically, that's how we did this question. So as you can see, it is actually quite straightforward, but there's a lot that goes into it and a lot of thinking that goes into these types of questions. Now we look at the next one, which is a similar type of question. And so let's go to it. So here we have 4.4, right? It says given below are two rectangles representing floor plan designs for a new dwelling. The dimensions are given in terms of x and y. Both designs are equal in length, and the width of the floor of plan 2 is half the width of the of floor plan 1, right? Okay, let's just copy this and take it on that side and tackle it. Okay, tackle it. Let's tackle it. Let's tackle this one. So there we have it. So now let's try this out. So we have 4.4, 4.4 right there. Okay, 4.4. And so let's do this. Okay, so we have 4.4 here, and I've read already the statement. So now 4.1, 4.4, 4. Why 4.4, and this is 4.4.1. All right, and so let's do this. So now we have these two floor plans. So what is the question? What's the first question? Let's just see what the first question is. It says make the system of equation in terms of x and y. We need to make a system of equations. Now this is key to understand. When they say system of equations, they mean more than one equation, right? And an equation, remember, has a left and a right hand side. So it's most definitely you're going to have to do some type of simultaneous at some point, right? And actually, if you look at the next question, it says solve for x and y. And whenever they say solve for x and or x and y, it's a simultaneous. So in this case, we know that we need to create two equations. Okay, we need to create two equations. So they're saying in terms of x and y, relating to this problem, if the perimeter, what is perimeter? Of the floor plan 1 is 70 meters, right? In total. And the perimeter of floor plan 2 is 60 meters. Now, luckily, they actually gave us everything that we need because this is a two rectangles, meaning this length here is equal to that length there. And this length there is equal to that length there. And as well here, we can see that this length there is equal to that length there. And this one here is equals to this length over there, right? Because the opposite sides are equal for a rectangle, right? So we already kind of know that, right? So this is actually quite simple. So we can first say for floor plan 1, floor plan 1, what do we see? For the perimeter, so the perimeter is equals to what? So it's actually equals to all the sides, right? But the two sides are the same. So two sides, so I say 2 times, and this is 5 plus y, plus 2 times 2x. So that's 2x minus 10, right? And remember, the only reason I wrote it like this is because it's still the same thing where you would have taken each and every single one. So you would have said 2x minus 10 plus 5 plus y plus 2x minus 10 plus 5 plus y, and then that's equal to the perimeter. So it's the same thing. But remember, they gave us more information about floor plan 1 and the perimeter. And the perimeter is basically 70, right? And then for floor plan 2, so for floor plan 2, when we talk about the perimeter, still the same thing. It's 2 times 2x minus 1. So I'm going to say 2x minus 10 again. No, let me actually change this up quickly. Sorry. So I'm going to use the width first. So this is half 5. Okay. So we have here half 5 plus y like that. Okay. And then we have plus 2 of 2x minus 10. Okay. And that's all equals to 60. Okay. So basically that's it. They say just to make the system of equations. And this is 4 marks, right? So this is quite simple when we're making the systems of equation. Now it's going to be up to you, obviously, what you want to do first. Would you want to first simplify them, right? And so we can. So let's rather simplify them before we go on to the next question. So let's simplify them. So for plan 1, when we simplify it, right? And I'm gonna make space right there. Oopsie, what happened there? So I left something behind. Okay. We don't move now. Okay, so there we have it. So let's first simplify this. So this would be 10, right? Because this is 2 times that, and 2 times that. And then we'll simplify it. So it's 10 plus 2y plus 4x minus 20 is equals to 70. Okay, there we have it. And so when we simplify this, we can't do anything with the y's and x. So we can just leave it as 4x plus 2y. And then it's just 70 minus 10 plus 20. So 70 minus 10 is 60 plus 20, it's 80. So this is just 80 at the end of the day. So this is 80. Not 800, 80. And this is 4x plus 2y. Okay. Okay, that's good enough. Okay, so that's equals to 80. And that you could say is our first equation, right? And then we go back to our second equation, and I'm going to push this back up now. Oops, not too high. Right there. Let's go. Up we go. Yes. Okay, so now simplifying this as well, then when we multiply this in, 2 times this would be just 1. So it's actually 1 outside, 5 plus y. And here it would be 4x again. And then that would be minus 20. That's equals to 80, right? And then basically we actually just have 5 plus y plus 4x, right? Minus 20. And that's equals to 80. And so from there, we know that we can't do anything much with x and y. So we just leave it on the one side. So we leave it on the one side. And then we take the rest onto the other side, which is the numbers, the unlike terms. And so then we got here 7. So 80 minus 5 is 75. Plus 20 is 95. Right, so this is 95. And this is 4x plus y. Okay, it's 4x plus y. And so now we actually have 2 equations, or what we call a system of equations. Okay, so that's 4.4.1. So now we go to 4.4.2. Now 4.4.2 says, hence solve for x and y in the system of equations. Now we just need to solve for x and y in the system of equations. So we can just rewrite it again and say we have x, right, plus 2y, y, that's equals to 80. And that's the first equation. And then we have 4, let me just say and right there, and we have 4 plus y, 4x plus y, 95. And this is 2. Okay, second equation. Now, first, let's try and simplify. So let's say, let's make one of them, make y the subject of number 2, right? The second equation. That's quite straightforward, right? By first doing so, we can make it into 95 minus 4x, like that. And that is your y, okay? And then we've just made the third equation. Now we use the substitution method. So we'd say sub 3. So we're subbing equation 3 into number 1, right? And so then when we sub 3 into 1, we have here, it is 4x, right? Plus 2 times 95 minus 4x. That is equals to, right? That is equals to 80. Okay, so that's all equals to 80. So now we just have to simplify. So when we're simplifying, 2 times 95 would definitely be 190, right? So here we have 4x plus 190 minus 8x is equals to 80, right? And so now the only thing we need to do is simplify, right? Or group the like terms or add and subtract the like terms. So it's 4x minus 8, and that's just minus 4x, right? This we take onto the other side, so it's 80 minus 190. And 80 minus 190 would be 80 minus 190 would be minus 110. So this would be 110. That's minus 4x. And this, then we divide by minus 4. And we divide by minus 4. And this would give us a positive number. So this is 110. This is 110 that is being divided. That is being divided by 4. And that gives us 27 and a half, right? And that is your x. That is your x. It's 27 and a half, or you can say it's 27, 5. So it's 27 and a half. That's your x. Now for our y, right, we can just take equation 3. So it was actually 95, right? 95 minus 4. Is it 4? Yeah, 4. And our x was 27 and a half. And 27 and a half, if we think about it as a mixed fraction, 27 and a half, so 27 and a half as a mixed fraction would be 55 over 2, right? So this is 55 over 2, so it's 95 minus 4, and this is 55 over 2. And we can see that this is 95 still, and this would be cancel out one of the 2's here, so it's actually minus 2 times 55. Now 55 times 2, right? 2 times 55, that's 110. So now it's 95 minus 110. And 95 minus 110, that is minus 15. The equal signs don't look nice. So that's minus 15. So there you have it. You have the two solutions to this problem. So it is equals to minus 15 and minus 25. Okay, minus 15 and minus. So as you saw,